patrons? It's time for another great episode. Dark Souls 3 with Sanford. Right here. I'm Jeff.
I'm John.
Let's see if Hawkwood has anything to say to us. Yeah.
Asking us.
I'm coming, Elizabeth. Sorry, I have to get those out of my system at the beginning of every video.
You do what you got to do. Okay, so, yep. Ring Finger Leonard has showed up. It's another guy.
I'm kindled, are we?
I'm bored with you already.
The trail of the Lords absconded. Then these red eyes are for you.
Oh.
So,
Use them to pillage embers and briefly heighten your strength for your duty.
So this is actually really interesting because, cracked red eye orbs will let you invade other people's games.
Okay.
And so he's part of a guild. He's part of one of the factions that basically that's what they do, is they do invasions. And so we could actually progress that, but I'm not into invading other people's games, especially at level 1. So we are going to level up a little bit. We're going to do all of our stuff. We want to use that deep axe that we picked up last time. That's going to require 12 strength. And then we're going to do a little bit of vigor and a little bit of endurance. Nope. Okay, let's do... I want to buy that healing spell. So let's go ahead and talk to her and get... we want to pick up...
I want to ask you a question.
Heal aid? Yes, sir.
How caught off guard were you by the fact that I knew who some of these characters were?
What do you mean?
Last week.
What do you mean?
Well, last week, you're like, oh, here's this character. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's the lady from the intro from this game, or from Dark Souls 2. And then, that's from this.
No, I think I expressed that that your memory of the fact that she's from Dark Souls 2 was a little surprising to me. Yeah. And as far as the Firekeeper from the intro, I don't know. It's weird because I feel like most people would get that, but for me, it took a long time for my dumb brain to be like, "Oh yeah, that's her, isn't it?" Anyway, so we now have the deep axe, and that was like kind of our first checkpoint.
Not to be confused with D-bags.
That's correct. That's correct. Big D-bags, or the big deep axe. Yeah. And that is going to make those... You remember that knight that kicked my ass last time?
Yes.
I feel like the deep axe is... a lot of the Souls games have had like a weapon that you can get kind of in the opening area that makes the game a lot easier, and this is kind of the one for this game because it actually... the deep infusion on it actually lets you interrupt the attacks of those big knight guys. So this is so weird. You guys, we just got done playing the Surge, and it's kind of strange to go directly from that to this. Like the dodge button is a slightly different place. But all right, so let's go ahead and move forward a little bit. We're gonna just kind of... I'm gonna see if we can roll through the rest of this area of the High Wall of Lothric today. God damn it! God damn it!
Now, one thing we should also point out is that there is something a little different about this week's video.
Yeah.
It's the fact that you're playing it on a
PlayStation Pro.
Yeah.
It's... Oh, fucking God damn.
I don't know if this would present any difference in the way the video looks, but...
well, the frame rate's a little bit higher on my end, but since I render everything at 30 frames per second, that's not really going to show up. It does have a little bit more graphical fidelity, I believe. Like, some of the aliasing is better on the PS4 Pro as opposed to the original. Oh, we don't need to be down here just yet. So there's that.
Yeah.
But it's weird because what they did on Dark Souls 3 for the PS4 Pro is they unlocked the frame rate, and so it's not exactly 60, which is, of course, what all the PC folks and people who are sensitive to frame rates want.
No, they were just praying.
Yeah, I don't care. But this ends up being more like 40 to 45 frames per second, which I feel like it's hard. I mean, you can see like the people watching the video aren't going to really notice, but like I feel like from my perspective, it's a little bit smoother.
Yeah.
Not horrifically, not like you should run out to buy a $500 or a $400
just for
console
Dark Souls 3.
Just for Dark Souls 3, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if it did Bloodborne as well, that's a whole other story.
Does it not do that with Bloodborne?
There isn't any real like graphical upgrade to Bloodborne. Come on, dude. Stupid puss of man.
So that was a thing that happened.
Yeah. Are you following me? God damn it.
You trying to get him to follow you?
Yeah, I want to pelt him with fire bombs because I really hate engaging. Like, it's funny because engaging the boss, engaging Udix Gundar, is actually a lot easier than this guy because he's in like an arena and he's just a little easier to kind of get at, whereas out here in the world, it's really hard to tell like when they're going to attack. Like, it's really hard with this big goopy mass of garbage to know when they're going to attack and when they're going to
They look like those
God damn.
goddamn indeed.
The thing is loud as fuck.
Yeah, they look like those little snake things that you get by 4th of July, where it's like you light them on fire. Like
Yeah. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. Little charcoal snakes.
Yeah.
Yep. And then if you listen real close, John, you can hear the tinkling twinkles of a crystal lizard. Fuck you. And God damn it. This guy's actually kind of important to us because for the first part of the game, we're probably going to end up using, and this is just the build that I've been using. There's a straight sword down here that I want to get that is better if you infuse it raw, which is funny because raw.
Some like it raw.
Yeah. Oh, baby, I like it raw. Yeah, baby, I like it raw. So, yeah, and I like the fact that they give you a raw gem right off the bat because there's actually, I don't know if you remember the way that infusions worked in Dark Souls 2, but like there's a lot of them that were tied to different stats. So like if you were made a crystal weapon, that would scale with your intelligence, right?
Yeah, I remember. I vaguely remember
Look
that.
at this guy down here. It's pretty funky. Got little wings on his back. He's a big boy.
Those wings aren't going to help you, dude.
Yeah.
You're too big.
It's going to be good to remember those wings, but also it's worth noting that like there seems to be a war going on here between these guys and these Lothric Knights. And that kind of seems to be like the reason that everything is all kind of fucked up around here. But anyway, raw is in most of Souls is a garbage infusion because all it does is it basically like gives you the ability to take off a lot of the damage scaling, which works great if you're not going to have if you're not going to be doing like a strength build, right? I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but anyway, it works better here because they give you a raw gem right off the bat, which raw works as a better infusion early in the game when you're not leveled up to the point of getting like a strength weapon, right? All right, I need to remember also that I have another heal. These guys are the bane of my fucking existence. I fucking hate them so much, but that's why I got the deep axe. Because they have this move where if you try to get behind them, you know, they got this giant shield and shit, right? And they'll do the shield bashes, but if you try to get behind them and you stand there for more than like a second, they'll just fucking whip that shield behind them and hit you with it, and it fucking sucks ballsack. Hate it.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah, I know. All right, so let's get over here. Our first well, not our first, but it's kind of a big old monster room. All right. So what I find really interesting about this particular area is that this is the Kingdom of Lothric, right? And this is like our kind of our kicking off point, but this is also really, this area, the starting area that we're in is actually really close to the end game of Dark Souls 3. So we'll be back later on to kind of go rolling around through more of this area later.
Okay.
Do we have a question?
We have quite a few, actually.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, not
let's see how many we can
crap
get through.
ton, but Snowblind Yeti
Yep.
says, "Hey guys, hope you're doing well. Also, love the choice for a new playthrough. My question is about characters.
Yeah.
I recently went back and played Persona 4, and still to this day, my favorite character is Naoto, the female detective. But I discovered that I find Yosuke just flat out annoying.
Yeah, he's pretty annoying.
So my question is, are there any characters that you used to love in any series, but when you went back to the series, you just fucking hate them now?" He didn't say fucking.
That's a good question. That's
characters that you liked, but then you went back and you're like, God damn, that character's annoying.
Good question. I even read this question, but it's a hard one to kind of like just off the top of my head think of. Characters that you used to love and now they're just fucking terrible. I don't know. You got anything? Jog my memory.
Orko from He-Man? As a kid, fucking loved Orko. He was all the shit.
Yeah. Oh, oops.
But as an adult, fuck that guy.
Yeah. Snarf. I mean, I've made no bones about the fact that I hate all of those old cartoon characters that are like supposed to be the cutesy sidekick characters. I'm just like, fucking A. Like when they did that Thundercats reboot, one of the best things they did was make Snarf into just like an animal pet.
Yeah.
Hey, come on, let's have an axe fight. Oh, fuck, that was exactly what I was hoping to avoid.
Though I will say, in the He-Man reboot, Orko wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
They actually toned him down a little bit. I mean, he still was a little annoying, but they had a little bit more depth to his character, I feel.
Good, sweet, fancy Moses on a stick. Stop following me. I don't want to be followed anymore. I don't want to fight both of you. You guys are... Oh, shit. Whoa.
I'm going to laugh when you moonwalk right into somebody.
Yeah. God damn, you guys have a hell of a leash. Okay, so now we're down to one.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like characters in video games, though.
That's a good question. Moira from Fallout kind of came to mind. Fallout 3 or whatever her name was. What was the lady that had you do all the errands to write the book?
Yeah.
She's kind of irritating, but never like dramatically so. I would say Trusty Patches, but he's not irritating. He's my favorite. Or Unbreakable Patches in this game. Also, he was a spider in Bloodborne.
Yeah, he was. I do remember that.
It's funny. I actually wanted to do a cosplay build. So last night I started up a game and I went online and found a guide on how to make Patches' face. And so I tried to make a character named Unbreakable Patches, which is what his name is in this game, but that was too long so I had Trusty Patches instead, which is one of his other incarnations. So let's see. All right, so
how ironic that he's called Trusty.
Yeah, it's true. He doesn't really go on, like in a lot of other games, he goes on about how much he hates clerics. He doesn't really do that in this game. Anyway, we also picked up a shield, by the way, and this is our first 100% damage reduction shield, so it blocks 100% of the incoming damage, as opposed to the one we had before, which I think was like 60 or something. Fuck, god damn, dude, seriously, I can't even get off of you.
He has got you pinned against the wall, and he is fucking yo shit up.
Yeah, he is. Oh, and he's getting all fucking angelic and shit. Well, fortunately, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump back to where he was. Oh, but we have another NPC to meet because we picked up a key, and that key lets us unlock a cell, and that cell lets us unlock the secret Rage Select Easter egg of Dark Souls 3.
There's a Rage Select Easter egg in Dark Souls 3?
Not really. It's a more of a coincidence, shall we say, than an Easter egg.
Is his name Rageful Jeff?
Yes, it's yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I was like, really? That's weird.
Yeah. You don't get a lot of Jeffs. I don't know. I don't feel like my own name gets a lot of representation in fiction. All right, so let's get this guy.
Yeah, my name I feel like gets used too much.
Yeah. There we go. And then what a bang bang boom. And how about one of these? Yeah.
Yeah, thinking about that question, I can't think of anything in video games.
No, I'm having a real hard time with anything coming up off the top of my head. But thanks for the question.
Yeah.
See, this guy trying to blow up them barrels.
But while you're doing this, I'll go to another question.
All right.
From Val, who just says, woo! Been waiting for this for a while!
Damn right.
The weeks are going to be so much longer waiting for episodes now. I also have a question as well as sort of a request.
Okay.
I would love to see you guys take a look at Star Trek Online if you ever get the chance. Whenever you guys do, hearing the thoughts on it would be entertaining, especially with Jeff, such a big Trek fan.
Yeah.
To keep the Star Trek conversation going, my question would be, what are your hopes for the new Star Trek Discovery series? Thanks for taking the time to read this, Val.
So anyway, here we go. We'll get back to you, Val. Just a second. So this is Grey Rat.
Ah. You're no jailer, are you? No, you're from far away. And judging by the bell, you must be some of that unkindled ash. Remarkable. If that's true, then I have a favor to ask.
Ask away, bub.
Below the high wall is a musty little town. Not the home of any lord, just a very old settlement of undead. An old woman, Loretta, lives there. Please,
Yeah.
give her this ring. I'm not asking for charity. In fact, if you do this for me, I'll be sure to repay you in kind.
All right.
Horsey sauce is in your future.
But I've more wits than most royalty. What do you say then, huh?
I say sure.
I humbly place my faith in you.
Double Rage Select cameo. Did you notice that we granted his request?
Oh!
Assist you.
That's so stupid. That's so
Give this
fucking
ring
stupid.
to old Loretta at the base of the high wall.
All right.
Do your part, and I'll do mine.
So one of the things that I do like is that they took in this is that they took that idea from Bloodborne of having like your, you know, how the hub area was like you would collect people there.
Yeah.
But then like you remember how when we collected them in Bloodborne, they didn't really do all that much.
No.
I like the way that now it's like you're collecting like vendors and people to kind of help you out on your journey. So as far as what
Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah.
Have you seen the trailer for it?
Yeah, I have. Is it's supposed to be in the Abrams verse?
No, it's supposed to be the
No.
original series, like the Prime universe.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Look,
That's actually my biggest issue with
it doesn't look any fucking thing like the original.
Like it's
universe.
supposed to be, you know, after Archer and you know whatever the.
Yeah, can't transform if you're dead. You shit.
Yeah, but it's after, you know, Enterprise. It's before the original series.
That makes no sense whatsoever, especially with the level of tech that they've got. Like they kind of addressed that. They kind of addressed that a little bit in Enterprise by having like there was an episode. I think it was the Doppelganger universe. Enterprise crew found like the Tholians. Like remember the Tholian web where they draw the grid around, and they had captured like they time traveled and they found the Tholians had captured another Starfleet ship, and like Jonathan Archer. Oh, what the fuck! I totally hit that guy. Jonathan Archer like captured that ship, and it turned out to be like 15 times more powerful than anything in the universe because it was like from the future.
Yeah.
But they at least acknowledged, and like even in Deep Space Nine, where they have the trials and tribulations, where they go back to the trouble with tribbles, and like they kind of like there's a few points where Dax is like, "Oh man, this era was so classy. Like I loved the way that the uniforms used to look and stuff." Oh, this guy, he's got something inside of him. So I don't know how that gels with. It's one of the problems that you have. I wish that they would just push the Trek universe forward.
Yeah, I do too. I wish they would
more.
stop. Yeah, I wish just like either. I actually was kind of. I originally thought it was going to be set in the Kelvin universe, which is the official name of the Abrams.
Oh, okay.
Because the Kelvin being destroyed was the thing that changed.
That changed history.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I actually thought that that this was going to be in that.
Yeah.
And it was still going to be like 10 years, like still 10 years before, which that I would have been like, okay,
Yeah.
that's cool.
It makes sense.
I'm down for that. That's interesting.
I mean, the camera angles in that trailer look like the the Kelvin verse.
yeah,
Sorry,
but
I'm
no,
not really-
it's totally the original series and is not the like.
Come on,
it's-
Bubs. Come on, Bub.
I also feel like it's a little confusing
Yeah.
to do that. Like I'm not saying they can never go back to the the original the Prime universe or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But like I feel
Fuck,
like
I hate it when this guy traps me like this.
oh yeah, no, he got you bad, but you killed him. So
Yeah, I didn't really need to. I just wanted to.
he gone.
Because we're just about to the end of the High Wall of Lothric.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know.
I also don't like the look of the Klingons.
Yeah. It's funny. They actually even went to. Have you watched Deep Space Nine?
Yes.
Okay, so in Trials and Tribulations, they have that thing where they show the Klingons from the old universe, and they ask Worf about it, and he's like, "We don't talk about that."
Well, there's also an episode of Enterprise
Right,
that
explains
that.
Yeah. That it was them trying to use genetic engineering. It was Dr. Noonien Soom's ancestor trying to use genetic. The Klingons were trying to steal like the genetic engineering pioneers that he made, and when they applied it to themselves, it ended up getting rid of their forehead ridges and shit. Right. So. So they go out of their way to explain that, but if it's not said in the fucking Calvin verse, it doesn't make any fucking sense. It just doesn't make any sense why they would look dramatically different, because we've seen what they look like throughout. But you know what? I'm happy to have Star Trek back on the air. What I hope, my biggest hope, is that the writing is up to snuff. Because I didn't like Voyager's a fun enough show, but it is not the caliber of Star Trek writing that I like from my Star Trek. I don't feel like there's more than 3 or 4 episodes of Voyager that touch the level of quality in TNG or Deep Space Nine.
Okay.
So I really just hope that they have, because the trailer makes it look very action oriented, like the Abrams movies, right? Not necessarily as like Plinkett made or was it Plinkett? Yeah, on one of his reviews made a really good point of the TNG episode Power Play. Oh, fucking god damn it, really? Okay, fine, fuck you guys. The TNG episode Power Play where Troy, Chief O'Brien, and I think one other person get like inhabited by these like energy aliens on this planet that take them over and are trying to use the Enterprise to like free their fellows from like this cosmic jail.
Yeah.
Like he makes a point of saying that like the dramatic moment in that episode is Picard, Troy, O'Brien, Keiko, and like one other person walking from like a cargo hold to like a turbo bay or like a shuttle bay.
Yeah.
And it's tense because it's baked into the plot, and that you don't need like a bunch of pew pew action.
Well, the interesting thing I will say, also reading about the trailer, is at no point in the trailer do you actually see the USS Discovery. Mm-hmm. Like at no point is that ship, which is what the show's about, ever shown.
It comes out at the
no. That's Michelle Yeoh's character ship. That's a different ship.
Oh, okay.
Because what it seems like the trailer is depicting.
Yeah.
Is that because in that one, the character who's like the first mate, she's supposed to Michelle Yeoh's character's like, you're ready for your new ship or whatever.
Right. Fuck's sake, goddamn. I hate these fucking things.
Yeah.
I just can't.
But she's saying, I think you're ready for your new ship, and then they go out and they're at the edge of space and they encounter something, and that all of what you see in the trailer is essentially prologue. Is probably like probably going to end up being like the first 30 minutes of the episode.
Really? Okay.
And that of the first episode, and then then she gets moved to the Discovery, in which she's not the captain, she's the first mate again.
Right.
But apparently, like, what happened to her previous ship, what's the reason that she's not getting a ship, kind of thing. Like, that seems to be the big mystery going on.
Okay.
Which I think could be interesting, and it has to deal with those Klingons that are on the edge of space.
Okay.
That look different. And they actually, apparently, that'll actually be a plot point on why they look different.
Okay. Also, just to set the record straight, because I said it before and I said it again, and this is Patreon, so nobody's going to be like, really paying that much attention from the outside world. But if the only way to watch that shit is through their app, I'm pirating the fuck out of that show. Like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna fucking get their app for that one show. Like, if they offered more, that would be one thing. But you're not putting a new Star Trek show on, and I'm not gonna watch it. And I ain't fucking paying for unlimited access to NCIS. Like, go fucking fuck yourself.
Having said that, I'm watching a lot of NCIS lately.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going through the entire series.
Why?
I like NCIS. It's actually a really good show.
Okay.
Like, I mean, there's a reason it's one of the highest rated primetime television shows for a while now.
Are you being paid by Big NCIS?
No.
Did you get bought off by Big NCIS?
No.
Because I want a deal. I want to talk about NCIS and say, "Hey, everybody, welcome to the dojo."
No,
I would just love to say how much I love NCIS. It's such a great show.
I'm a huge fan of procedure shows.
Procedurally generated, like
TV
cop
shows.
shows.
Yeah, procedurally generated cop shows. Procedure shows.
Yeah.
They're, like, even if you don't, even if you miss an episode, it's not a big deal. With those, and I like Law and Order, I like CSI, I like NCIS, but
Ooh,
nicely done.
firebombs, nothing but firebombs. All right, so we're gonna take what's my Estes situation? Okay, you know what? I got the shortcut opened. We got two more things to do, and then we're gonna be out of the high wall of Lothric.
Okay.
Anyway, go on.
Next question.
Yes.
From Robbie.
Okay.
Says, question for Jeff.
The video robot? Nice.
No, not the video. I'm just not saying his last name.
Oh, okay.
But question for Jeff.
Yeah.
Now that you've played every Soulsborne game along with their DLC, how would you personally rank them all in terms of difficulty?
In terms of difficulty,
Because we've already heard your rankings.
Yeah.
In
For
terms
quality.
of quality, but
Yeah.
difficulty.
Difficulty would probably go. Dark Souls 3 is definitely the hardest. I'd probably say that. Oh man, it's probably a tie between Dark Souls 2 and Bloodborne for number 2 spot. They're hard in different ways. If you're going straight Souls, Dark Souls 2 is definitely second, right? And then Dark Souls 1, and then Demon Souls, because, well, it also is kind of weird because they're all hard in different ways. Like Demon Souls has world tendency, where if you're alive, because that has two states where you're either alive or you're a ghost. So in that game, if you're alive and you die, it changes the world tendency to black, which makes the world harder. So, as the Bonfireside chat guys say all the time, it's like a poor get poorer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And those mechanics are not well explained at all. But in terms of just like straight up combat, fucking Dark Souls 3 is the hardest. It goes in reverse order, to be honest. Yeah. 3, 2, 1, Demon Souls. That's exactly the way I would rank it, with Bloodborne as a different thing, because it's a very different. Like, you can compare Demon Souls and Dark Souls. You can't compare Bloodborne and Dark Souls as much because they're very different. Anyway, that's what I would say. What you got?
Yeah, and then the rest of them the rest of the comments are not questions, or more just comments.
Yeah.
Like Ruskell saying, "This isn't Darksiders 2."
Oh yeah, and then saying that he's like unsubbing his Patreon.
Yeah.
He said that, and I went to the Patreon dashboard to be like, did that motherfucker actually do that? The motherfucker actually stop? No, it was a joke. Jeff shouldn't look at comments when he first wakes up in the morning because he's a real bitch, real early morning bitch.
Russell's just messing with us.
Yeah,
he's okay with it.
Oh yeah. So is this something?
Plus, there's still 2 other videos that he could get to watch that are not Dark Souls 3.
True. So this is actually kind of interesting, John. So this shield in the Dark Souls universe, usually shields are L1 to block, and then L2 to parry, or with a larger shield, L2 to shield bash.
Yeah.
But we have a third type of shield now, where with the introduction of the weapon art system, this shield, when you hit L2, does the weapon art, so you don't have to put your
shield away.
You don't have to double hand your sword. Yeah. And in some cases, like for the axe here has the same weapon art as like the club at the beginning, where it just gives you a little bit of a buff, a little bit of a bonus buff.
Okay.
But like the long swords in this game have like a different move set, where if you hold down L2 and then hit L1, it'll literally like knock somebody's shield out of the way. And if you hold down L2 and then hit hit down L2 and then hit R2, it will do like a super attack. So.
Wait, are those dudes with the turtle shells on their back?
Yep. The Pilgrims. Yep, they're here to pilgrim. They're pilgrimaging.
So are they dead, or are they just lying there?
Hard to say. The relationship that the world of Dark Souls 3 has with death is difficult for me to suss out because it doesn't. It seems like some people do die, in spite of the fact that like there's an undead curse around, which means that nobody ever really dies. So I don't rightly know the answer to that question.
Okay.
Fucking goddamn.
Oh, he's got those glowy red eyes.
Yeah, he's a lot more difficult. He's fucking buffing his shit.
Oh, he's coming for you.
Yeah. See, that was him trying to keep me from getting behind him. So the reason that I like... Oh, shit! The reason that I like the deep axe is because normally with just like a short sword that I had, when I hit him, it wouldn't... Like, his poise or hyper armor is so high that he could just keep hitting me through it. So there's literally like no way to stop him from hitting me, and I don't like that. I want to stop him from hitting me.
Yeah. The only other thing was Persia King going on a very long rant about the differences between dragons, worms, and wyverns.
Yeah, so I actually want to address one little piece of that because I did read all the way through that.
Yeah.
The problem, and at the end he basically says like, bottom line, whatever Miyazaki says is a dragon is a dragon. The problem is that Miyazaki said the dragons are dead. He said the dragons got destroyed at the beginning of Dark Souls 1 by Gwyn. There was a few dragons left. There was the everlasting dragon, and then there was the...
Which is much like an everlasting gobstopper.
Exactly, yeah. So then Dark Souls 2 said that fucking Vendrick and...
I was trying to like recreate them.
Yeah, they recreated the dragons through like weird science. So the simple problem is that this game has dragons in it, and we don't know what the fuck. Like, where are they from? Are they like remnants of the old dragons from back in the days of yore? Are they like the Vendrick doppelganger dragons? Are they like a third dragon that we don't know about? Or what the fuck? So,
did somehow the dragons get brought into the whole cycle of being born and reborn and dying and
yeah,
not being dead?
And like, considering that this game canonically takes place a long distance in time from where Dark Souls 2 was, are the dragons from Dark Souls 2 now like considered like legit dragons? We don't really know, because there's also like a ton of different ways we're going to run into. There are people in this game who are turning themselves into dragons. There are ways that our character can become a dragon.
Really?
There's a lot of different dragon shit going on. So when you say, well, bottom line, whatever Miyazaki says is a dragon, my question is, well, he's like, there's like a fucking 17 different dragon things going on in this game. How am I supposed to know which is which? Because they don't make it abundantly clear. So that's all I'm saying. And that's not a knock on you, Persian King, but because the stuff that he was saying in his comment was kind of your definition of what's a worm, what's a drake, what's a dragon, like on different definitions in different places over time. So that's just whatever. But also, goddamn me. People are pretty... I don't even need to kill this guy. I don't know why I'm doing this. I don't even need to kill this guy. I get killed all over the fucking place this time.
Red eyes, man.
Yeah.
They're making you crazy.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, I've died more in this level than I feel like I really have any real right to have died. But... so I apologize to the people watching, because I know that just watching me do corpse runs all over and over again isn't exactly the best thing in the entire world. Anyway, so yeah, the dragon lore in Dark Souls is
weird,
problematic, and not the way the internet says problematic, but just like because you literally had somebody else take over writing duties and make a bunch of new rules up about dragons and who they are and what they are and where they come from. Also, there's time travel involved in this game. Who knows? Maybe they came from the beginning of Dark Souls when the world was gray and ash and unformed and blah 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 blah. All that bullshit, right? Who the fuck knows?
Wasn't Dark Souls 2 both a sequel and a prequel to Dark Souls or something like that because of time travel?
No, it did take place after Dark Souls 1.
Okay.
Because there was things like Solaire's, the ruined statue of Solaire and the Sun Bros existed, and So that stuff all happened in Dark Souls 1. So,
But it was in the okay, yeah. Because I remember there was time travel stuff at the beginning of Dark Souls 2 as well.
there was one point where you were able to use the item that lets you move through time to go back to the gray realm where the dragons were.
I thought the whole thing in the beginning of Dark Souls 2, where the three witches or whatever, they opened up like a portal and pushed you into it or whatever.
Well, no, that was actually before you met the witches in the very beginning, where you jump into the portal that leads to Drang Lake. But I don't know that that's ever properly sussed out as to exactly what the fuck that thing was.
Because I thought that had you go into the past, or that's what the monologue thing was telling you, is that you were actually...
No! Ah, fucking goddamn it! I lost so many. Okay, fuck.
I don't know.
Fuck.
Like I said, that may have been one of the things I missed. I thought that the monologue in 2 meant that you going into that Drain Lake portal thing sent you into the past.
Okay, so I think that the indications of that are that the okay, I've really fucked this one all up. I'm going to use... Okay, we're going to go back and do a couple things at the thing. We're just going to go fucking beat this boss. Okay, so there's the implication that the woman at the very beginning, in the beginning cutscene of Dark Souls 2, who says, like, oh, you've got the curse, you'll kill, you won't even know why, or whatever, like, that's the Herald, the Emerald Herald.
Yeah.
And so that is in the future, and that you are kind of jumping into the past, but it's never even the place that you're jumping to is not like Dark Souls 1. So we got ourselves an Estus Flask shard, so we're going to get another Estus Flask. And let's see, Grey Rat's here.
Oh, hello. And just don't ask me where I got them.
He's a thief, and he's got some stuff, but yeah, where I'm out of, I don't have any things. Okay, so I'm going to do one quick thing. I really fucking hate the fact that I sucked so hard at all that. I lost like 4,000 souls. I usually don't have this bad of a time. And I didn't practice this level because I've been through it so many times. I just think that I got a little bit overexcited. Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, I'm so good.
Yeah.
And then
like, oh, this isn't a problem. I've played this a bunch of times. Come on. Load. Come on. Come on, Fogwall. Oh, okay, there we go. So I'm going to try to beat this swordsman that's up here, because if you do, you can summon him for the upcoming boss fight. And then
is this the guy that gets you the
Uchi Katana? Yeah.
That you were like, we don't need that bullshit.
Yeah, we don't need that bullshit. But having him as a helper in the fight that's about to come is pretty fun. Now, see, dude? Yeah. See that thing right there that he was doing, where he has the sword in? That's the L2 weapon art move, and it actually gives you two different things. One thing you can do is a parry, and then the other thing you can do is a big slash. So it's actually really stylish and fun to use the Uchi Katana, because you get a lot of super flashy movesets. Makes you feel like a big old ninja man. Whoa. Fuck.
Isn't he like super difficult?
He's a bit difficult.
Yeah, usually the easiest way to get him is to
kick
knock
him off.
Yeah. To cheese him.
Oh.
Oh, he's fucking you up.
Yeah, he fucked me up pretty hard. Last flask. He doesn't have a lot of armor, though, so if you can kind of catch him out of position, you can get a few hits in and then just roll off.
Just don't roll off the cliff.
I've done that. Come on! Okay. Whoa, fuck.
God damn, that took away like half your life.
Yep, that was the wrong thing to do. Don't go using fucking miracles that take forever. God, man, I tell you what. This might be the most that I've died in one episode of Dark Souls ever. I think we had like a couple where I got real flustered in a place, but this is up there. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a couple.
Yeah. Okay, come on. I mean, I know that I can beat the boss, and I know that I can beat those knights. I just have to be a little bit more patient, doing like runs all the way to my corpses.
Yeah, why does this take so long to load?
Because it wants to transport you to the shrine quickly, so it only loads the inside of the shrine. And then if you want to leave it, it has to kind of do a load. It's like really one of the only places outside of loading screen that you'll see any indication of a load. Also, I need to stop saying the word load.
Load and reload.
Oh, fucking what the fuck? A-holes. All right. Yeah, usually if you can get him, if you just kind of come up in this guy's face, and you can get him like right about here, you can get him over the cliff like that. It's the easiest way to kill him. And then if you quit and reload, then all of his stuff will be there. Did you know that when you do, I've watched some Dark Souls 3 speedrunners, that it takes so long to open a door in Dark Souls 3 that it actually is quicker for them to quit the game and reload it, and then the door will be open from where they were before.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because of that whole, like, slow, like opening up a door.
That's weird.
And Dark Souls 1, I think, was the same way with some doors. All right, so let's go. Let's get this stuff. Let's do a little bit of work. Oh, you know what? There's actually a kind of a funny thing here. So the this guy's attire is funny. A terribly worn shirt. Men are fond of weaving tales to explain the raggedness of their garb. My sixth sense warned me of danger, and I danced between flurries of blades, unscathed. But alas, my clothes went to tatters. I kind of like the idea that they're just like, yeah, this guy's full of shit. And he's got this dopey explanation for why his clothes are all ripped up.
He's so fast that while the blade never cut him, it did cut his clothes.
Yes.
So that's why they look all tattered up.
Yes.
Because that's how fast he is and how badass he is.
Yes. That's what he's saying. What a fucking stupid idiot. All right. You know what? Let's do a little upgrading. Let's see. First, let me just check one thing real fast here. So we're going to move off of this onto the Store and Straight Sword, which is going to need a couple of points into Faith. Let's see if I got a couple of points in me. Yep, okay. All right, so now we can switch from the Deep Axe to the Astora Straight Sword. And we got a few Titanite shards, so that means we can upgrade it. Oop. 1, 2. All right, so now we got our +2 Astora and Straight Sword.
All right.
We got everything that we need. We're going to go, and we're going to go talk to the NPC we need to talk to, and then we're going to go get the boss of Lothric out of the way. And other than that, I think we've done just about everything for this area. We might have to come back at one point, but and that sword should be way better at kicking people's asses. I was thinking about, you can respec, I think, like 6 times in this game. I was actually thinking about like making each, like dividing the game up into 6 essentially, and then making, or maybe it's like 4 times. Maybe you can only do it 4 times. But dividing the game up into however many times you can respec your character, and then like playing like, oh, I'm going to play this quarter of the game as a cleric, and I'm going to play this quarter of the game as like a dex ninja, and I'm going to play this quarter of the game as a fucking strength build. I don't know. That's probably a little too convoluted.
Is a little bit, but you do you, sir.
I don't know. I've never really played Magic in Dark Souls 3. I played it in 2 and 1. In the early games, it's like fucking super easy mode. All right, so let's come down here. We do have this part down. Try not to get killed by the big asshole knights a 12th time in a row. Okay. It's very pretty.
Yeah, no, it's very nice.
Pretty game. There we go. These guys are actually a great place to grind.
Yeah.
Because they will drop embers.
Oh, okay.
So it's almost like I really like one of the things that I think is kind of interesting and subtle about Dark Souls 3 is that they appear to have learned a bunch of lessons from some of the other games with being like, hey, you know what? Let's give you a place very early on in the game where if you want to get more embers because you want to do multiplayer or you feel like you need some help, let's give you a place to do that without punishing you. God damn it. God damn it. And let's also put them on these fucking crazy assholes. Would you please hit me? Would you please just fucking try to hit me? Okay, that'll work. I really want to kill that red-eye guy. The fact that he killed me like 3 times in a row really pisses me off, John.
Yeah.
It really, really does. Wait, is this one of the swords that has the other moveset? Yeah. So see, this is L2 moveset with a longsword type, and one of the things I can do is instantly like pop somebody's defenses. Okay, I'm going to try this one more time. I can do this. I know I can. I know I can. Root for me, audience. Pray for me. No. No, I say. I say no to you today, sir. Fucking goddamn it. Damn it! No! All right. All right. That's fine. He'll be my nemesis. We can come back some other day and deal with this guy. It's been fucking 45 minutes. I died this guy 4 times. Fuck it. Let's go beat a boss. Let's go beat a boss that's easier than that.
Okay.
Boo.
Old red eye.
Yeah. I don't know why the fuck he's so hard today. I think that I'm just a little, like I said, I'm a little flustered. All right, so let's get back to our favorite spot in the game. Kill some knights. So I feel like this area and the undead settlement are both like definitely some of the larger areas in the game. I don't know. I feel like we're almost going to have a thing where for most of the time that we're playing through this, we're going to have to split every area into like 2 parts because they're just these really gigantic areas.
Okay.
Also, you know how Dark Souls 2 had like spokes of like we went kind of down paths.
Yeah.
And then Dark Souls 1 kind of had this big interconnected world. Dark Souls 3 is like kind of a straight line where you're just kind of moving forward through this world one area at a time. There's not a lot of deviation. I think there's a couple places where we've got some alternate paths that we can go to. Can I wear that armor? Nope, too heavy. All right, let's get my souls back. I could have cheesed that Red-Eye Knight in the cathedral, I bet. I don't think these guys will... I think they'll stay outside. You guys stay outside? Come inside here?
I think he's about to come in.
No. Okay.
He's like, no, this place be cursed.
Yep. Yeah, this is the Big Nifty Library, and here we have our next NPC. So...
The wait has been long, unkindled one.
I like the statuary with all the decapitation.
I am High Priestess of Lothric Castle. Allow me to speak frankly.
Okay.
You will not find the Lords of Cinder here.
Well, then what
They
the
have
fuck?
left, gone, to their churning homes, converging at the base of this castle. Head to the bottom of the high wall, forge on through the great gate, and raise this banner to proceed.
Okie dokie.
This farewell gift is for you. It is the insignia of an old covenant. If you fear trespassers, dark spirits drawn by the embers, then etch this upon your heart.
So this is the Blue Sentinels who basically, like, if you get invaded and you have this covenant equipped, it'll pull anybody that's in a separate thing into your game to help you.
Oh, okay.
Kindled one. Head to the high wall's base. Go through the great gate, but beware. The dog keeps a close eye on things.
Uh-oh.
The vile watchdog of the Boreal Valley.
That's Solaire back there.
Unkindled.
Okay. So we got a vile watchdog of the Boreal Valley to deal with. I'm pointing at the ground. Let's go fuck him up. So let's see. I can go around here. And now we know our quest, essentially, is that we need to go find the lords down off of the high wall of Lothric and basically get them back.
Okay.
So. You were going to try that shit. Fucking fire arrow Magoo. And let's go ahead and put embers in here. Pop one of these bad boys. Boop. And we'll pick up, this should be our master swordsman. Yep, sword master. And I don't think we'll wait for anybody else because Vort is just not that difficult of a boss. And I wasted everybody's time today.
It's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Not super happy about that.
Hey, they got almost an hour-long video
Yeah, that's true.
in which we answered questions.
That's
And
true.
we had discussions.
Yep.
We did things.
That's all very true. What's going on here? Oh, what a face! It's Vort!
Okay.
It's been so long since I've actually seen the intro to hit this boss fight. It's usually when you're like either you have summons with you or you're summoning other people. You don't, you skip over that as a courtesy. But Swordmaster, you want to chip in here a little bit? Oh no, you just want to be
Nah, he's
fucking
gonna
asshole. Get you right in the buttocks. So you see that little thing down at the bottom of the screen?
Yeah.
That's a new status effect called Frostbitten that is brand new in Dark Souls 3. They're basically like, okay, well, who are you going after? Swordmaster? Or is it me? Oh, I guess Swordmaster. That like slows you down and makes your stamina regen happen slower or something like that. I forget what the exact set of things are, but it's a elemental type that really hasn't been seen in the series before. So I'm sure there might be some ice magic in there somewhere. But as you can see, Fort is not exactly the world's most difficult boss.
No.
But we are going to want to go ahead and take a quick look at his soul.
Take a look at his soul.
Soul of Vort, the Boreal Valley, one of the twisted souls steeped in strength, used to acquire many souls. Vort served as an outrider knight, never far from the fleeting dancer. And look, the door opened. So remember that fleeting dancer. We'll come back to that a little bit later. And then one final thing before we end up here. Let's take a look at our Lothric banner. Small banner held up by the Lothric messengers. Hold up outside the main castle gate to be greeted by an escort. When the high wall appeared, the path to the undead settlement was blocked, and messengers came bearing this banner. They were sent out with a duty, but had no way of returning. So, as you can see, not a whole hell of a lot of ways to get off of the high wall from here.
We see a lot of red blood.
Yep. This is probably all people jumping to their doom. But what we can do in this area is we can actually see a lot of the world. So that down there is our swamp over here. Like we're actually going to go to just about every single one of these locations. So over here we've got, forget if that's the cathedral, and then we've got, I think that this is part of the undead settlement. Let's see way back there on the mountaintops. I think that might be Irithyll. And then I think if I don't know if we can see it from here. Oh yeah, that's the big church. And that maybe way back over there isn't Dragon Peak. I don't know, but we'll get to all this stuff. And in order to get places, it turns out apparently that the little demons in Dark Souls were apparently just like a thing that exists in the world, because we go holding up a banner and our buddies from Dark Souls 1 somehow inexplicably show up.
Don't mind our arms. It's not blood you need to worry about. We're going to take you to a place. It's very nice.
So it's weird because these are the guys that take you from Sense Fortress to Anor Londo in Dark Souls 1, and then they're enemies in Anor Londo. But here, they just take you down to this area, just drop you down. Here
There
you go. Bye.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, and that's it. That's all they do. So, anyway, thanks everybody for watching. I'm sorry about all the death. Join us here next week where we're going to go ahead and head into the Undead Settlement and have a wonderful, wonderful week, and we'll see you next time.
Later.